waveform jump away. Swap out though. Oh, what a save. Last second. Saberlife jumping into the Roche pit. The roar comes out onto that Morphling. It's not quite doing enough. The bounce back and forth coming from Saberlife, able to get the damage on the mid one, but he's saved by that false promise. Still nobody dead in this fight as they got control over the Oracle, trying to kill him off. No-Tail actually able to get the walk away. Oh, but Adaptive Strike finishes him off in the end there. Waveform around, time to Saberlife, under control by Sumail, getting bashed by Roche and everybody else. They buy back on the Dark Willow, wanting to get back into this fight and bringing down mid one. Oh, Yule Scepter last second trying to live, but the timing as they take him down when he lands from the Yule Scepter, killing off Seb as well. And now Charlie turning on to Sumail, a triple kill for Supreme.
Oh,
this Pugna that's done so much. Sumail will be able to complete this TP, but 4 others dead. This is NIP's Roche.
Yeah, they're out of swaps on Seneko. All right, so from 0 to hero, Saberlight, yes, he died in this fight, but he definitely saved this one in combination with Seneko, of course, with the swap. But they tried to cover where Seneko was positioned to like stun either him before he could swap or like instantly split earth the morph when it came out. I honestly, if Midwell wasn't on ping, I'm pretty sure that fight goes their way.
Yeah,
because like the way he came around that corner. But then Saberlight, he rolls into the pit, breaks that up when they're trying to kill Seneko. Then he blinks over to also stop the follow-up kill onto Charlie. He stunned up mid one twice, forced the Yules, forced the false promise. Then he stuns up the Oracle and brings it down to almost death before dying. And then Charlie's able to finish him off there. Absolutely fantastic fight from the Pango.
Doing what his team needs him to do and doing it well. The Solar Crest onto Charlie, jumping in onto Sumail. Needs to switch back over, almost bashed all the way to dead. But he does manage to get out of there, holding onto that Aegis.
I feel like I haven't seen him morphed into people very much this game.
No. It's been
probably
weird.
Just like in quick bursts with the time walk, maybe.
Right. I don't really know who else you would go for in this game that seems... I mean, maybe like...
Lesh
Shadow.
is pretty good.
Yeah.
Lesh is like fairly annoying because you can just like turn on your abilities and switch back, like cut the edict.
Oh, and the timing! He comes out of it. BKB from Sumail and the false promise. He almost got exploded, but Sumail lives through it. Damn. That was crazy.
Yeah, if that BKB timing wasn't back, he's obviously just like probably dead there, even with the false promise. I feel like they might have had enough damage, but they just all ditch once that happens. All right, NIP looking to take full control of this game by purchasing the gem. Try and battle versus this horde of Hawks flying out from Seb with that cooldown talent, just constantly scouting it out. Letting them know where the good chronos are. There's another one under Sentry Vision. Zapped on down. Oh yeah, bounty rune right in their face. Nice
I
one,
like it.
Keeping that trusty shovel, swaps into Mindbreaker onto the Pango as well now.
It's 500 gold right now. So much. Trusty Shovel and Philosopher's Stone is the new answer to lack of gold in Dota.
Yeah, yeah, true. I mean, that is like half their lead just from that one bounty rune.
Yeah, that's insane. Well, another round of Hawks get thrown out here as it looks like OG wanting to play on the bottom side of the map. They don't have great vision into Dire's side of bottom, but they at least can see if there's like a wraparound coming from the rest of NIP who are grouped somewhat together, and with the Aegis could make a play if they want.
They also have a sentry down too, so sentries are actually like more important when you're Beastmaster lineup because you just send like if you can just plant sentries around and then put your Hawks down, you can still de-ward everywhere, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, and the move is actually just to go high ground here. NIP in position before OG can get back, and with that Pugna ward down, it does beg some questions if they can get that aggression in.
This is a good Aegis setup, I think.
All right, Charlie. They throw out the axes, getting healed back up by the Pugna, and the mechanism afterwards. Charlie lives through the first burst. They still have Chrono, obviously, if they want to use that. Swap away for the moment onto mid one. He's out of position now, but isn't going to be able to get brought down, at least for the moment. They use both saves on him at the start. No-Tail taking a lot of damage, disruption to live him, but there's going to be a big Chrono onto 3. They catch everybody in it. Look at the damage out on the ball.
Catcher, dude.
Blow the hole up. Charlie under fire, gonna get bursted down. That's Aegis round 1. Holy crap, that was insane. And now the second he comes out of there, there's the stun. The Bashes are there, trying to live through this one. Does have a waveform away as well as the Manta. TP's out, but banished, caught, and soon to be killed. Charlie, Dota in some trouble. They are going to be, well, Sumail cliffed himself for old time's sake. You know, every now and then you got to go back to your
You can
roots.
take the guy out of EG, but you can't take the EG out of the guy.
Everybody's
man.
dead.
That soul catcher. Oh my god, their HP just vanished.
Jeez. And look
So-
at this thing.
NIP just got the old trap of like Shrine Dota, I think. They see a tower that was really low and they're like, oh, we gotta get the tier 3, but tier 3 suck. They don't do anything. Like, you can't throw your life away trying to get a tier 3 anymore. It's not the same as it once was. It doesn't guarantee you this map control. And then obviously just amazing initiation there from Sumail, benefiting from the later talents of the Faceless Void. And in classic Bulba fashion, how many fights do you need to win with this lineup? It's not very many for OG in this one, I feel like.
Oh, mid one catches out here, and they're looking to try and end this game. I mean, they don't have Chrono, but OG still feeling strong. They chase forward for Saberlife, damn near going into the fountain, has to pop his BKB, but they did have swap as well, and just like that, they're going to try and run away. Can they get out, though? You do have to be really careful about this. Charlie's still chasing, looking for Seb. Has a waveform again in a second if he wants to use it. Saberlight, still the slowdown comes out, but it looks like OG might have been able to escape.
Those are some costly buybacks, though, for NIP, and now moving to a 10k lead. And what a great time to kind of cement yourself into a lead when these neutral items start coming out of the 37-minute mark.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, potentially being able to also take out that other outpost would be huge for them. Although I don't know if they're going to be able to be in position to do it.
They're going to smoke up right away. They want to play aggressive here while the Chrono's still gone. They do not have a large window, though. Maybe hoping that they can abuse some new neutral items. They got themselves the debuff buffs from the Timeless Relic to help out with the Dark Willow. Pretty nice with the Terrorize.
They're not putting it on the Pango, though. They saw what happened last time.
That's right. Yeah, the no combo Dodo.
One's really annoying. Ooh, Minotaur Horn for the Lesh. That's huge.
Yeah. I feel like that's one of the best items for Leshrac.
Yeah.
Just because, like, you never want to buy the BKB because these Bloodstone builds. I mean, obviously you want to buy BKB, but, you know, you don't.
Yeah, I'm picking up. I gotcha. Oh, Shadow Demon got Ninja Gear, too. God, these items, it's always such a big window. So, yeah, they need to pick up a couple more on NIP. Hit some neutral camps. Stick with NA Dota. Just go hit neutrals for a little while. There you go. That's the play. Prince's Knife. That's a cool one. Have a camera.
Have a camera. Wow, he just got all three like that?
It's insane.
So we have a camera on the Beastmaster and on the Pango. It kind of seems okay on Pango.
Okay.
You know, just
Well.
like bounce people in team fights and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe push them out of position where you can get them twice. Saberlight just used his ulti, and that should be scouted by OG.
Yeah, he really thought they were going to commit there.
20% backtrack for Sumail. This is a level 25 talent, and he's just going to jump forward and hit it a few more times. Still hanging on to that BKB. Rooted, getting drained, not able to punch things, but does not seem that
Mid one's in.
Mid-one goes crazy, jumps into the middle of all of them. Chrono down onto two, but they have the swap. The answer is there. Saberlight likely to die in the duration of this one. Buys back immediately. Now the Roar onto that Dark Willow, trying to bring her down. Shadow Realm is not going to save you, and over behind the tier 4 towers, they're also going to hallucinate. Go buyback from absolutely everybody, and OG says, we don't want to be here anymore. Or they go all in on Saberlight. Keep him up back for this one. If he goes down right now, oh my god, that Terrorize saved his life, and barely able to keep him from being brought down again.
They're still pretty healthy here, though. I don't see them leaving quite yet.
Yeah, gotta be careful.
I think it's a smart move, probably, because there is a Roche.
They also have the Pango ulti back up again, and no Chronosphere for Sumail. Are they going a bit too far? Saberlight, round 2, jumps into all of them, gonna connect on a mid one, hit into 3, now looking for the 4th. The follow-up is gonna be their Yule Scepter. It's not looking like there's enough damage, though. Jumping coming from the Morphling. Charlie doesn't have enough in the tank right now. They pull back onto Sumail, jump in from mid one in the midst of all of them. With the Bloodstone heal coming in the False Promise, he's barely gonna be brought down. It still wasn't enough. Decrep keeping Sumail away from Supreme. Controlled, killed. They overextended also. They buy back on the Oracle and the Lesh. And Lesh had bot, so he ran back in, but they can't take this fight. Seb gonna get caught. Oh, Charlie on the wrong side of the trees.
I just assumed that Rolling Thunder was so good it crashed my game. That's what happened. He started that Rolling Thunder and he hit the Oracle, and that was it. It was bye-bye Dota.
You were dead.
I'm really glad. I was scared that everyone got kicked, so we're good.
All right, you're good. Are you back into it yet? Or
I am back in on the action. So Sumail died, eh?
Sumail died, yes.
All right, cool.
Hopefully I didn't miss anything else.
That's all the only notes I need here?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that was the Octarine core that they were scouting it with.
Okay.
Oh, wait, never mind.
We're
good. That was just the overlaying on the courier thing.
Oh, man. Swap and then the blink away by No-Tail, keeping him alive. Secondary swap with the Lotus Arm. Damn. That's a tip moment right there as they kill off Sumail's courier. And more chaos reigning forth in this game number 2. Must win for OG to avoid tiebreakers.
All right, so what I was saying before my client died, basically, when they were pushing that last time, the timer was up for the potential roast, right? Which is where it's like, we already chronoed. Theoretically, the smart move was probably to back. But you can also understand how they feel like they just won that last team fight, like, kind of huge, and they were all feeling really tanky. Did they have to buy back on anyone else, or like what are we sitting at right now?
So buybacks, Oracle, Lesh both bought back, and then obviously Venge earlier, Pango, Dark Willow, and then Morphs is coming off cooldown in 2.5 minutes.
So even for the rating, like Oracle and Leshrac is a pretty big deal. Because what's the roast timer? Because mine's broken now.
It's back up now.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
Mid 1 tries to find the stun. They bought back on that Shadow Demon, but Era is dead. No buyback for her. Dark Willow will not be in this fight, and that Terrorize has been huge for them. Nullifier finished off for Sumail, and he doesn't have buyback with that purchase.
Now the Decrep stage there.
They're going in right into the pit. Oh, Saberlight, no, he missed it on the way back out. Wasn't able to go for round 2 of it. Trying to bring down this Oracle. Can't quite get him in range. They have Chronosphere back up if they want to hit it. Jump away into both, but now they're in range for the Chronosphere. Sumail holds onto it, and they got him caught. Saberlight is going to get killed off here, but they still keep alive Charlie. He gets the jump away, Lincoln Sphere keeping him alive. Roar afterwards. Done. 2 minutes, no more flame, and that is a huge one. GG is called as OG pull it back from the jaws of defeat and take down NIP.
Sieging a high ground to not even getting the tier 3 and just like one great chrono there from Sumail after a very difficult game of just like diving in and not getting saved and being just blown up by this roster of NIP. Eventually the Decrep waveform Dagons stopped being quite enough damage to take these team fights for them. And man, mid 1, I love the way he has to like play on ping. I don't know if it's the same way he would play normally, but he's just like, I'm gonna press my buttons and blink in, guys, let's go. And I mean, that's, double saves, right? That's kind of the whole point. So right. I think OG found a great way to make this lineup work in the late game.
Wonderful stuff. Let's head on back to the panel, hear their thoughts on that absolutely majestic game of Dota 2 we just watched.
Nip had it, OG had it, mistakes were made, scrappy, messy, confusion, your faces while I was watching it all go down. Where do you want to start, lads, really?
I think like just the overarching fact that you start the game off, Nip, they're beautiful team fights. The Pugna, again, it's about Supreme, the moves he makes. It's just really fun to watch. The early fights, keeping everyone alive. But then we get to the stage of the game where like, OG, like a screw goes loose from me. Because they're just fucking, I was about to swear there, lad. They're bombing it around towers. You got Sumail jumping behind tier 2s. You got, oh man, it was just, like the Oracle doesn't save a couple times, unfortunate. It was just, poof, mental.
To me, it was as if both of them, like really have plans for the next 30 minutes and didn't want a game to happen, right? So like, OG at times like, never mind. And then it was like, no, we want this to happen now. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, why at one point when Nip pretty much had it did they overextend so bad that they were pushing for that tier 3?
Yeah, that was a. There's actually 2 points, right? The first one I was actually going to bring up is I've never seen a voice die so many times just jumping in, like the Pugna Decrep blows him up. But no, about your point at the tier 3, like to me that was when like Nip pretty much put a stop to OG being aggressive. Yeah. It was like, all right, let's pause.
They got the full team wipe.
And then they go for the high ground. The issue in that play is they see the Oracle at the very edge of the high ground. They go to pick him off, and then they don't actually get on him, and then obviously clumped up, and then it's the most beautiful chrono that you could ever ask for. And at that point, it's just OG then, again, somewhat owning the map, but still very scary.
Yeah.
This was a very sketchy game.
I mean, to be honest, Nip played really well.
Yeah.
And OG didn't play really well. But OG had the draft advantage, and I was looking at this game, and like, is NIP, it's even worse than what we predicted. It was even easier for OG to play. NIP, they were outplaying them left and right. If you remember the fights in the top jungle, they're just running around OG. They are bursting down their heroes. It comes down to also OG making some mistakes, going overly aggressive with the Void, like you mentioned. But just, and when I saw NIP actually forcing high ground, I'm like, okay, in this position, they can actually win the game. But then you make one small misstep, Sumail punishes you, and the game is impossible for you at that point. We can see OG made so many mistakes. We can maybe name a couple that NIP made, and we actually see OG winning this game. So that's how much their draft was easier to play than what NIP had.
The true question is, were they mistakes, or were they just buying time to get away the aggression of NIP, force the Pugna to play in a defensive position away from the towers, to then eventually
is that a serious
get
question?
No.
He said OG had a screw loose.
No,
His screw just went loose as well.
Yeah, because in all seriousness, I know if you look at the game, right, NIP is the first 15 minutes they're in the driving seat, right, and to me the game, it kind of actually became very close when OG started doing these really weird, questionable moves. It's one of those things where OG has always been a team where you look at them and go, what are they doing? What is this? What's the reason? And it's for me in this game, of course there's a limit to how many times you do it, but the fundamental idea, the basis around it was simply buy time. We need to get our Void to X item, or we need to get to a position where they fully try and commit to a high ground siege. Like this siege here, when you hit this chrono, this is pretty much okay, we've bought enough time, we've played out our game, and we can kill them. Look, the Void has BKB Satanic Miona at this point. This is the 3 items you need in this game for your Void to feel confident. Before that, you can't ever really fight because there's the swap, the life drain, there's so many things to annoy you, and how NIP demonstrated how they win fights. So yeah, I think again, even though it looked very clowny, I kind of feel like that it was a big old master plan, and I'm not just saying that, but it did have that look.
I'm not disagreeing with you when you say the way they played, the way they wanted to play, but the way that they actually play it is the Void jumps in and dies. So there's an Oracle that can put Fate's Edict on you and you don't die, and in this game the Void just dies 3-4 times.
It wasn't done beautifully, but it was done nonetheless.
I mean, I get your point, and I think that it was part of their strategy and how to play, to actually force NIP to play on their part of the map, so that even if OG loses a fight, it's on NIP's part of the map, you don't lose the towers, and that I can agree on. On the other hand, if OG plays it a little bit better, NIP don't have a single chance in this game, and they had, and to me this was let's say 65-35, and that's actually when it comes to draft, that's actually a big out draft, because these are pro teams, they know how to play Dota, and it was really hard for NIP to play this. Other than that, props to them, how they actually managed to do it. They were moving around really well. You see how Suneko is always keeping the maximum or minimal distance between him and his teammates, so that he doesn't get into the chrono, but he can actually swap immediately. So their positioning, everything was on point. You make one mistake, you lose. Why? Because you picked Dark Willow in the beginning, you left the Oracle in the pool, you let the enemy get the Oracle, and then you pick the Pugna, and you have effectively 2 heroes that are kind of useless. So just step back a little bit. To me, they're a better team, and they're winning this third game 100% if they have close to an even draft, which they can definitely do. So that's how it looks.
You're done now? You're taking a breath?
Really?
I mean, that was everything that was just in your mind for that game.
That was intense. My takeaway from that was just play better lol. No, I think this is just one of those games where it's so chaotic, you kind of lose touch on what the drafts are meant to really do. And I feel like both teams played actually kind of really well. I don't think we really touched on draft at all in this game, honestly. Both teams could have easily won this game. NIP had their moments, they kind of choked at the very end. Again, like you mentioned that chrono, it's kind of one of those, I feel like we do a disservice to these teams if we just bring up drafting points, because the game was so good in terms of how they generally play. Even though, again, it was very clowny, it was still they were just fighting, and it was enjoyable to watch. So yeah.
Well, it was whichever team at the time was doing well was doing that correctly, and the problem I felt for Nip at the end was like they really wanted to push for that win too hard, and then they forgot about the rest of the aspects of their game, right? And it was like then when they caught, they went, oh dear, oh, wait a second, let's get back to thinking about what we should be doing here, you know, playing properly.
It's kind of like the false confidence that you gain, like when you're a lineup that's able to take all these fights outside of the tier 3, like when you play Dota, right, tier 1 and tier 2s, there's like a whole different ballpark to when you fight at tier 3s, right? Even depending on what lane you go, like the build up to it is very different. And with their type of play and how they had this such a strong poke in the game with all these saves and stuff, you play in the open areas of the map. As soon as you push towards the tier 3, it's so hard, it's a closed off area. So it's like their game plan was really good outside. But it's the lack of adjustment in the critical time when they get to that tier 3. That's when, obviously, again, like we saw, OG punishes that, and then suddenly you're rolling thunder that cuts through the backlines. You're diving at tier 3. Your team can't get there as well. Like, it's kind of like, cool, but you're not going to win the fight. So, yeah, that's why eventually OG won this very clowny game.
Actually, when it came down to that tier 3 push, I actually thought, okay, at this point it's gonna be Nip winning it.
Yeah,
because you have an Aegis on the morph, and you have a Pugna with a blink, and we've seen Supreme time and time again be incredible when it comes to micro plays, right? So he's just gonna blink out of the chrono, or even if he doesn't, he has Avenge. But then what ends up happening, you start running away, and in that like mess, let's call it, 3 of your heroes get caught. If their 3 heroes don't get caught like that, they can actually go back to the high ground, reset, and even continue with that push. But you make a slight misplay, there's the Void, he's punishing you, and again, the game is out of your control.
We do get what we wanted as well, though, boys. We get another great game of Dota,
you know,
third game the whole way through. Why are you?
Because I'm thinking like, so OG wins.
Okay.
Only Nigma versus OG seed tomorrow. One tiebreaker. If Nip win, we get the bigger tie breaks. You know, do you want less Dota or more Dota?
So you're trying to say we want more Dota, so we want OG to win.
Yeah, less OG, more OG. Huh? Yeah.
He's saying he wants NIP to win.
You want NIP to win then? Okay, now I'm with you.
Yeah,
now I'm
there we go. You're picking up what I'm putting down. I'm the man of the people. Everyone wants to watch these boys play.
Yes, we do want more Dota, right? But
yeah, of course.
I mean, you also don't want OG to be in that situation where you're potentially eliminated as well. So depends which side of the fence you sit on, mate.
Yeah, but that's where you think about it. The
here we go.
Right? If it's just OGC by themselves, you know, like think about like the whole family aspect of it. You know, you got like the big team, little team. There's a family, right? Like the father and the son. The son wants to fight a war. You know, he wants to bring his dad. You bring the dad into the tiebreakers. OG like beats him down, and then OGC come in after to a beaten guy, and then just goes yeah. And then kicks them down as well. And then suddenly, Nigma in last place. So it's the family package. OG will enable Seed to then get Nigma in last place. Yep, there you go. 2 beats 1.
Okay,
I don't know who's worse, what we had with Harry freaking his massive spiel or what you just tried to put in my head of this abusive relationship sort of thing.
It's a family fighting.
Yeah, but it means the dad still has to beat up the child.
No, but like...
We don't want to be talking about that.
It's really good. That's awesome.
He said this is positive.
To be clear, Nigma's another adult, alright? So it's like a father beating up like another dude, and then like the kid comes in at the end and then just kicks him in the shin.
Oh, okay. I actually understood that you said that OG was gonna slap OG Seed, and then they are gonna evolve.
No. They're playing together here, lads.
Okay.
They're keeping their...
Yeah, no, I was kind of on his train and thinking like, so OG just comes and goes, see you later, Seed, and you just beat up a child, and then you find Nigma, you just knock them down as well, and then Seed eventually knocks out Nigma, and that's where you were going with it. And I was getting very worried what was going through your head at this point. You were painting some horrible pictures in my head to you, I'll be honest. So let's have a look at this draft, right? I think that's probably the safest route to go than where the madness might go at this point with it all.
One day we'll have a Dota boxing match. We just need 2 personalities to call themselves out.
I'll do it.
All right.
Let's go.
No, but we need. No offense, lads, but we need like the puppies versus X, or like the Eternal Envy versus I don't know, who's another random guy we can call out. That like weirdly would not fight but could look. No, but okay, that's a great topic actually. Weird Dota personalities that could like shouldn't fight.
Oh,
could fight.
I know one. Kyle versus Blitz.
Who'd win that? I think Blitz would dump.
Yeah, I think Blitz would win that as well. Sorry, Kyle.
Kyle would do great in like the press interviews, you know.
Be doing the talking bit, yeah, of course.
Like he's like muscling up in the face, like, oh, look at me. But then he gets to the fight, and his knees would buckle, and Blitz would just go, boop.
I reckon we should put Harry and Liz versus each other because
What?
On the undercard, yeah.
What?
Because you both go to the gym, right? You're both pretty tough dudes, but you're like the taller, slender one, and he's like the more bulky, beefy guy. I'm down to see that.
He's smaller than me. A lot smaller than me.
Doesn't matter.
What?
You'll be fine. Put you in the same weight category.
You have to battle for survival.
It's not about height.
All right.
I was hoping I get Banks, but okay.
That would be really unfair. Look how much heavier I am than you, and I'm trained. This really wouldn't work out well.
See?
Really?
Exactly. I've started the conversation. I'll be like the.
So fights go in weight categories, right?
Yeah, I know how
and
fights go.
So that's what I mean. Like, it'd be really unfair to put me against you.
What I go in my usual weight, I'm in the top category of the boxing, 91 plus.
You're 90. I would never put you as 91.
I was
It's the
90s.
cardigan, man, the cardigan.
I was on a
Yeah.
diet now, so
Okay.
maybe I'm not. But my normal weight is like 95.
Well, we got our first picks out.
Yeah.
So we'll get back onto that. But
Yeah.
I just found out that Harry Freak is a lot heavier than what I ever gave him credit for.
He's just dense.
Yeah, it's just all that muscle built up on him. See.
I was hoping you pick up like the British version.
No,
of
I'm not going to
dense.
put him. I'm not going to say stupid. Don't worry.
Oh,
I'm not going
okay, at
down
least you
that.
picked up.
I know
That
what you're
was a joke,
saying.
by the way, but-
I'm being nice, thanks. Yeah. We just already hindered him on
That was
this.
meant to be like one of our moments, man. We were meant to have that little moment together.
Right, it's a Phoenix for
Didn't call
Nip.
you
Get
stupid,
talking,
Harry
you
Freak.
two.
Yeah,
Do your
let's
job.
talk about the draft, less about fighting, less love. We all hug each other. We don't fight. Maybe.
All right. Anyway, more importantly,
Never gonna end.
First pick, Shadow Demon. Second pick has Phoenix. Currently deciding where they want to go with the Phoenix. Again, knowing Nip.
Axe.
Oh yeah, axe. That's it. It's either Mars.
boys.
We got the axe just there.
So
up
Nip
on the
win.
candles.
There we go. Job's a
I
good
like this. Like I said, last game, at least to me, Nip looked like the better team. They were outdrafted. They played really well. They were running circles around their opponent. Now they just get a stable draft. Axe, stable offlaner. Phoenix, good team fight, good laning. So you tick all your boxes and you're gonna win the game. Even though this OG lineup is not to be underestimated, there's just so many things that are going against them. Ping being the main one. Seb, I see him playing pubs, so he's definitely back, but not in his top form. So Nip, get the normal draft and you got this. So this is a really good start. OG, again, same opening, worked well for them last game, though this time you don't have a Dark Willow and a really free Oracle game. So we're gonna see how it pans out.
Why are you chuckling, Tigo?
I'm just, enjoying the experience that is OG versus Nip. I'm just enjoying the moment. Thanks, just enjoying the moment.
You're trying to work it out.
Yeah, trying to see. Again, OG, they have their staple bans. They ban out the Supreme Puck. Got to show it respect. Of course, they know how first phase it, but second phase, I think, especially when you only have one ban, you need to really understand what you're doing, and just a nice ban. The question though for OG is, are you going to go for the Oracle again? Is it banned out? I don't think it is. Yeah. So are they just going to go for the same draft pretty much, even though you have the Axe, which obviously can be annoying, but yeah,
It's a good Oracle game.
yeah, it's still a very great Oracle game, I think. The issue there is like they currently don't have egg hitters, so you're playing more into the fact that you want to be able to kind of do what they did in that first game, which is we'll run at you, punish your cooldowns. Like if Phoenix doesn't have egg, if it has egg, we're scared. But other than that, it's this Pugna pick, which is it's the question mark for me though in this draft, because like they've already locked in their heroes pretty much, like their lanes. It's not like they can maybe flex it to a different position.
So they're showing their hand a lot more this time.
Yeah, like potentially here the Phoenix could still be your 5, but with an Axe Phoenix type draft, you normally have that as just your 3-4.
Okay.
So in my eyes, it's like this Pugna to me, unless they do some weird swap around, it will most likely be your mid. And to me, that's kind of concerning because you only see 2 heroes, and Pugna doesn't fare that well against any aggressive, any hero that can park in front of a tower. We saw Alliance play against the Weeha Pugna. He tries to move to bot tower, Centaur's there. He then tries to go top tower, Centaur TP's top, charges at them, right? And for example, Centaur in this game is actually very good against Phoenix. Like, you don't actually have any lockdown right now outside of Axe Call. You get Stampede on Centaur, see ya, you're out of the fight.
Yeah, I can see that working. And he really does well with both these heroes. You have a lot of lockdown. You can burst the Pugna, but you go for a Lycan.
Yeah, if I think OG just win the draft here, if Nip doesn't pick a stun and then OG picks Centaur, I think this draft is pretty much like 80-20 to OG if these things happen.
But you were feeling like that last game as well.
I was, but then I realized that I completely forgot during that draft. I kind of mentioned the idea that Nip have to play really well to be able to like own the map and stuff. And then I realized like these guys played really damn well. So I kind of like diluted my opinion in that draft. After it, I was like, oh wait, hold on, I shouldn't have probably been so like on one side. But in this situation, I know Nip play really well. My fear is like, I've just seen it with Nigma, where they have an axe, they have no stuns, you shut down the axe, you kill him 2-3 times like OG did against them, and then suddenly you have no game because your only way of taking a fight is pretty much collapsed because he's died 3 times.
Yeah, but what kind of a stun would you want? And are you really going to be able to shut down this axe when you have a Lycan lane? Those are the concerns for me. I understand your point, but
I'd like a conquer type hero, you know? Like always put pressure on the Lycan, it gives you that tankiness to eat through maybe that initial scare factor of the SD +1 or something, and then you've always got like a really solid combo. You get the call, you layer it with boat. If they go on the egg, you got boat to cover that as well, like a soft save. Like there's so many ways. Yeah, I think please just pick some stuns in it, for the love of God, stop teasing me.
But OG actually has an option to pick a 4th pick Undying here, which is insane.
That's very true. They do.
Which is insane. Nip again cannot pick illusion-based heroes. And we have a Lycan, and who can actually make his lane good? It's gonna be an Undying. Do you have anything to hit the Tombstone? No, you don't. And can you pick illusion heroes to hit the Tombstone? You cannot, because you're playing against a Lesh. So
yeah, it's this is a nice spot. I think some teams really have started utilizing the Lesh pick a little bit more, where it's like you pick Lesh, they instantly react to it, and then you can cover it. And this is now like they've got a stun, single target stun, but a stun nonetheless. They got a way of moving forward. It's the same kind of what they were doing that first game, but they've elevated the amount of push they have. So now they actually have DK and Pugna. So when they move to an objective, the DK will park himself in front of the tower, Pugna will play behind, and then your Axe Phoenix will play in the trees and do that reinitiating.
Is Timber in the pool?
Yes, it is. It's a pretty darn good Timber game. 3 strength heroes and no damage. You rely on only Vessel to kill him, so...
Which they have a Phoenix who can build it, but it's still gonna be a support, not gonna come out too early. I mean, I see Timber and I see Undying, and I think both of them would work really good for OG. Both of them are really good against strength heroes. We have a lot of them.
Hey, back to the Oracle.
Okay, definitely a pick I can stand behind it, but I would have wanted to see one of those two. Definitely against
these guys.
We threw
about 3 darts there, mate, and we missed all of them. So we're not going to be professional darts.
We did mention Oracle earlier. Yeah, you mentioned it very at the beginning of the draft. I'll give you guys that.
That was the first one.
See?
Was that really a dart, though? That was more like, they might go for Oracle again. Same draft. Whoop. Yeah,
I'm trying to help you out, you know.
I'm taking the win.
Giving you a lifeline.
Lifelines, they're for the weak. You need to make a real prediction.
So what does Nip do here, right? What position do they put themselves in? Because OG's going to have the last pick. They are missing a lot from what you guys are saying. So how do they round this off?
So even though I kind of beat down on Nip's draft a bit, they have the way I described their draft just a second ago, I really like that approach, right? It's the DK, move to tower, Pugna as well, reinitiation. The concern you have is simply if OG makes the first move and starts running at you, how are you stopping this outside of your axe having items? And if, like, for example, Blink or anything like this. And if OG shuts down this axe that they have already shown that they can do, then that's the difficult spot. So for Nip, it's pretty much deciding what their roles are, because with the DK pick, it could be your carry with your Pugna mid axe off lane, still looking to pick up your pods 5, maybe. Like, it's all around the place there. But they have last pick. So let's look more at OG. For OG, they need an offlaner. I still like Centaur. I think Centaur's great. I love Centaur.
Why Centaur? So you can run away from the egg?
No, sure, you can run away from the egg, but also you just always jump onto this Pugna.
Oh, okay.
It gives you that stun, the aura buyer. He can buy pipe if needed. He can buy the crimson if needed. Ags as well. Like, there's not a lot of big damage on Nip. So if you get one aura buying hero, you pretty much can scale into the late game because he will always keep you alive. And this Lycan, he'll be your get out free or get out jail clause.
I mean, I still kind of like the Timber.
Yeah, Timber as well. Basically, any beefcake that can soak up the map a little bit to enable the Lycan get into his items, and the Leshrac get maybe 1 or 2 items, should win. Okay, they go Monkey.
I've got some new stories to
Solid.
Okay, wait.
Sure.
So it's an off-lane Lesh, right?
Maybe. Flexible. Lycan technically could be off lane. Lesh could be off lane. Monkey King will most likely be mid because the DK part. But this is where Nip kind of has the advantage to some degree because they can put the DK in the safe lane. They put the Pugna mid.
You weren't a fan of Pugna mid before?
Yeah, not really. Not this game. There's too much like run at you. Like Monkey King and Lycan, if they play together, just collapse. This is a very good Storm game. No stuns, can always jump them. Supports are like underwhelming. It's a very good Storm game. But again, the issue is how do you really stop them pushing your towers? Because you don't. And if Monkey King has a decent time, starts setting the tempo, you play off the Necrobook timing, Axe doesn't have a good game, still have the same factor. Like, your Axe needs items, your Storm needs items, your DK, he feels tanky but not too tanky, so...
Axe needs to have a good game for an IP, definitely. And DK is gonna have the good game anyways. Storm, Monkey King matchup, it goes okay for the Storm, but the Monkey King can crush him sometimes. So, I said if I see Nip having any chance after the draft to win the game, I'd go for them. And I actually, with the Storm pick, think they do because they have ways to get into the backline to get this
true.
Oracle. So if Axe has a good lane, NIP, I think they're winning this.
T-Gov, what are you thinking then?
Yeah, Nip does eventually become like an unkillable ball and like a will fall off, but I feel like OG should just be able to own the map early enough and just put the pressure on, and I think they should close this out with a little bit of a comeback and take it 2-1.
Ooh, okay. So we've got a split talent desk here to work this out.
If Nip lose,
Yeah.
I'm throwing that Axe out of this studio. Just gonna...
You can
That's
throw,
the- that's the-
you
that's
can
the
throw the
pressure.
axe. You can throw the axe and see what
Nice.
happens.
Thank
But you know what happens, right?
We have the boxing match. Let's go.
No, we're not getting back to that. It's all peace and love around here. When you've got an axe and when you've got a DK, we know that you're going to win. That's it, right? That's the unwritten rule that we're putting down here.
Banks logic there.
See, there you
Thank
go. Don't trust my logic at home. Please don't. I don't want you to lose games and blame me for it. We should go to people that know what they're talking about, though. It's going to be Lyrical and Trent one more time. And maybe you guys believe in my axe and DK side of things. Or maybe you just think I've lost my mind as we get later on into the day. Take it away, lads.
Those two are not mutually exclusive, Banks. You can have lost your mind, and also I can believe in you. But I'm picking up. I like the Axe and DK. What about you, Trent? How you feeling?
Axe is a very polarizing pick. He's one of the more like feast or famine kind of heroes I feel like we have right now, where sometimes he just has this laning stage that you just get a couple kills and it suddenly just feels like you can't contest him anymore. And he can either choose to cut the wave when he feels like it, or he can just dive you under the tower when he feels like it. And I do think Phoenix is still a very strong partner to have. Ever since like the Skywrath Mage got nerfed a little bit too much to be that good as a partner, Phoenix has kind of replaced the role. And even with the Spirits getting nerfed, there's still such a strong combination in terms of the overall harassment in the lane.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic too, because I think that it was like Phoenix and Legion and Phoenix and Axe that were the two really strong combos before, where you look at that and you're just like, oh my god, how are we going to deal with it? And now you see NIP.
They preemptively tipped him for this.
This is pretty good. The root comes out, they're going to build up the stacks, and they had an idea of where the strong lane was coming from, and now they're going to punish. And of all people, Sox are going to be the one that picks up the kill.
And Axe misjudged.
I love that.
How many runes will they get out of it, though? Because they're going to make a counter rotation top and just say, okay, go flex. Like, let's go steal all of their runes now. So it'll still probably be a 2 for 2.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Seb, it's pretty hard. I mean, by the same token, it's hard for them to go in and like mess around too much with Seb.
Yeah, actually, because now Mid One's made his way back here, so it's actually fine. 3 for 1.
Right. Easy peasy for OG. It's a great start for them. They managed to, unfortunately, lose out there on, well, get First Blood and then also get all those runes. Interesting thing that we're seeing here also, the offlane Lycan. So that was something the panel had said that they could hypothetically do, putting more priority on mid one, just having that, no ping, no problem heroes in the Leshrac, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, they had a ton of flexibility coming at the end, right? They kind of have like 3 heroes that have gone mid relatively recently between the Lycan, the Leshrac, and the Monkey King. So, gonna start to harass Red Wind and Seneko. Good body blocks here as well from Seb. Almost got them a lot more damage onto our little Pugna, but at least it's room for Charlie.
Yeah. So he'll be able to get some nice farm. That's something that we hadn't talked about a ton either. The safe lane DK. I think that it was a little bit of a revelation that was going on as Seneko is going to put some hurt here onto Sox. So it already has the boots. But the safe lane DK feels like it was very, very popular right before this tournament. I don't know if it was still going on during the duration of it, but Charlie there able to take down one of those wolves, and so far has had a nice time in this lane against Seb.
Yeah, it's just a position 1 that is very difficult to pressure and opens up like various support heroes as well, like maybe weaker support heroes like this Pugna, who distinctly got nerfed trying to kill the hero out of this role, I think, recently.
Down bottom, Sumail gets level 2 and throws out a lot of harassment there onto the Axe and Phoenix. I guess that is one problem, is that if you're going up against a Monkey King, it feels pretty bad as an Axe. As top lane, Seneko still getting up aggro with Saksa, throws out the Nether Blast, almost able to find the kill, but not quite enough.
Even with Brown Boots, Shadow Demon is only 5 movement speed faster than this Pugna. So if Snake gets that movement speed at any time soon, it's going to be even more worrisome for Soxa. But Soxa gets the double stack off. Very nice. That's what you got to do when you pick this hero. If No-Tail's going to be playing bottom, you know he's yelling at him up top to make sure the stacks are being done. Soxa also a bit of a theme there on that, but perhaps an opportunity for NIP as well. They have lots of stack clearing heroes as well, and in fact, they kind of have more than OG, so yeah. They might have to watch out for any infiltration there. Surely mid one will just be cleaning them up though when he can.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, it is a little bit scary though, because as you mentioned, you know, they know the Shadow Demon's in the off lane. They know there's the potential to stack. It's going to be something on their minds on NIP as bottom lane. Saberlight pulling in this creep wave, gets a little bit of extra movement speed in the jump away from No-Tail, but you can see he's not having a great time on this Axe, sort of forced to pull the creep wave around.
And Soxa's back again too. Like I feel like a lot of teams started warding for this, and then it just kind of stopped, but he's gonna get it again. I think he was fast enough. Yeah, there. Oh no, that one pesky little troll. It's all right though, he got one of the camps.
Unfortunate. Yeah. As you said, able to pick up one of those stacks there. Top side, they actually lose the Oracle. He Purifying Flames himself. And then that brought him low enough that the Battle Hunger killed him. Or no, the neutral creep, excuse me. Never mind. Yeah, he just wanted to head back to lane quicker.
Yeah, let's say it was intentional. Probably just bought out his boots first.
That does mean Saberlight can come back here. Feel free to clear through that small camp as well as the creep wave.
Yeah, he needs this. He's pretty far behind. He was at 8 CS before this, so trying to catch back up. Sumail also getting pressured up, but I think a salve's coming in from No-Tail right now. If it will take this tower damage, though.
Thinking about jumping onto Saberlight. Not quite in range, but he can count up to 4. Saberlight tries to get the walk away. The stun comes out. The slow damage over time, it's not enough. So Saberlight, again, able to escape with his life.
He's out of everything, though. That courier's coming with a salve and a bracer.
Damn. Oh, mid lane.
Very
damn.
nice.
What a rotation from the Shadow Demon.
That's again, that kind of comes down to like all the stacking too, though, because he's just been like moving back and stacking at the minute mark. So even if they know that's happening, then they kind of have an idea of what he's doing. You might not predict that movement to the mid lane. I assume he must have smoked, judging by where that ward is for NIP. So probably just get caught out there and killing the storm before 6.
He's actually going to go for this clearing out the stacks himself on the Shadow Demon as mid lane. Oh, mid one. Gotta be careful. The slowdown comes in, but it's not quite enough damage. So yeah, getting some nice.
He's getting pinged by mid one right now. There you go, guys. Leave my bottle. When you touch that bounty rune.
He didn't even stack the other camp.
He was trying to get the bounty rune. I'll give him that.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, Seneko. So now they're warding for it. They blocked the camp.
An Axe goes down bottom. Sumail makes the rotation over, and I think that he should be able to jump back in time to not even miss any creeps here.
Yeah, this is why Monkey is one of the better heroes versus Axe in lane, because he doesn't have to make that choice of like, okay, do I farm under the tower or do I actually try and contest and kill this Axe? He can do both without missing too much of the farm, or at least he can always be threatening that from the Axe's perspective.
Right.
So yeah, I would say this is a problem. This Axe like really needed a fast start. Like I wanted him like top of the net worth kind of deal for this to be a good
Mid
game.
lane?
Oh,
Yeah,
got
dude.
him again.
Damn. So, yeah, not going good for the Axe, also not going good for the Storm. What's the reasoning that the Saberlight needs to come online so quick?
I don't know. Hold on. Let me just check this ping here. Yeah, it's still up there. It's still 200 actually. His ping's gone up, and Mid One's crushing it even harder. The reasoning is that like his mid game is pretty bad. There's natural Yule's builder. There's disruption save. There's false promise save. There's just bad news stuff. Even just like long range interruption stuff like the boundless strike. If he's not a super farmed Axe, he's just gonna be a really sad Axe. This can't be just like the phase blink Axe, or what's he even setting up for? Like, he already has a blink hero. He has a DK. This is the guy that usually goes double brace or blink. So I don't know if that means they're gonna have to augment the build of Charlie into like some Maelstrom build or something, but they're gonna need more sustained and consistent damage throughout this team fight if this Axe isn't like a total beefcake. Snako is just like kind of pelting at Sev here while he tries to farm.
I mean, it's helping him. Seneko was level 2 when all that started. Now he's getting his way up there a little bit. Hasn't had a wonderful time on the Pugna, but you do see that here, getting a little bit of pressure onto Supreme. Mid One shows up. Does have the jump away if he wants to use it. Mid One could fake a stun if he wants, but still trying to run away. Supreme does manage to get out before Mid One kills him again.
Even just forcing all that mana burn just means that it's going to be harder for him to stick around and keep trying to invade in the jungle like that.
Yeah. Well, 4-0 start. OG looking really good. Started with the bounty runes. Now we're here. Where next? Saberlight. He got some jelly for himself. That's
Oh no, he gave one to the Storm.
Oh no, he didn't actually take one for himself, actually. Oh no, no, his Supreme yet again goes down. Mid One is going to be able to live through this, disrupting Charlie. So the level 6 rotation from the Dragon Knight does not bear fruit, and in fact, they kill the Storm again.
Not sure what his next play is. Who can he just like easily pick off?
The Storm?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's a really good question.
Like, they need some sort of a smoke up play to get this guy back into it. Either that or the Axe just needs to start like running at mid lane. Saksa is just threatening again. He's like, come on.
He has had an amazing game. Already almost level 6 at 8 minutes. You know, from starting out earlier, taking that stack, building some more of them up, and you know, now he's even soaking experience away from Supreme. Gets the disruption off. Dude, he's dead again. The combo comes out, and they're going to bring it down the Storm Spirit for a 4th time. He has 4 of his team's 6 deaths.
Team? I mean, they don't have the best rotators. Like, Phoenix can be okay if there's turnaround potential, because, like, the dive and the fire spirits, but when you're just overwhelmed like this, does not really have a great saving mechanism. And now Mid One is showing no fear up here. Hey, Snako might be gone, too.
At this point in time, 9 minutes into the game, Saksa is almost ahead of the Storm Spirit in terms of net worth. He is 30 gold behind him, 130 gold behind him. Like, he is having an amazing game on the Shadow Demon, and Supreme is not. Supreme is really not.
They also have someone who is just completely free farming in the Monkey King.
Right.
You know, this is a 303 Leshrac, and the 101 Monkey King is toe-to-toe in terms of the net worth as well. So, like, you got one guy who's just going around making the plays, getting these kills, and delaying the enemy team, as Mid One tends to do. And then you have Sumail just cleaning up the creeps. He's going to hold that outpost, but there's no rotations. So they're just going to keep the one up top and split the XP at the 10-minute mark.
Okay. Much needed for NIP. They've got to get something going. I mean, levels are a whole nother thing also.
They just want someone to contest bottom so that Supreme can zip bump them. That's like their dream right now.
Yeah.
But there's wards directly